Make sure that connects. And it did. And boom. And there it is. There it is, y'all. There it is, y'all. What up? What up? There it is, y'all. Okay, check it out. Woke up this morning, grabbed my Morning 5 planner, which if you haven't gotten one yet, I don't know what you're waiting for. You should probably go get one. Go to themorning5planner.com. Woke up this morning, grabbed my Morning 5 planner, open it up, and right there at the top, right here, just right here, this bad boy, I love it. Right there at the top, there's a quote submitted by actual members of this community. Can you see those? No, you can't. It gets too blurry. It doesn't let you see. Oh, there it is. Boom. There's a quote right there on the top. And the quote says, "You will never rise or increase above the limitations of your character." That's right. Long pause. Sit on it. You will never rise or increase above the limitations of your character. I read that this morning and I was like, well, you know, sometimes, this was my first thought, sometimes people who have flawed character, I still see them rise, right? You ever been in that situation? You're like, man, why are they winning? How is it that they're winning? They ain't doing no good. They ain't trying to make an impact. They ain't doing nothing net positive. So that was my first thought is, you know, I don't know. I've seen some people rise that have flawed character, but then I thought about it. It says you will never rise or increase above the limitations of your character, Y-O-U-R. And it got me thinking, a lot of these people that I don't really know their lives, I can't judge, but these people that I sometimes look at and go, why them and not me? In their character, in their movie, dude, they're the star. Like, they are not flawed. You know what I'm saying? Like, they believe in themselves so much. Whether you agree or align with them or not is a whole different story. But they believe in themselves and the way that they carry themselves at such a level that they're able to break through. They're able to reach the highs in their life, in their experience, in their story. So when I started thinking about it that way, I was like, man, there's so much truth to this quote. You'll never rise or increase above the limitations of your character. Well, if you look up that word character by definition, right? I love doing this. Definition of character. The mental and moral qualities distinctive to an individual. A person in a novel, a play, or a movie. The mental and moral qualities distinctive to an individual, unique. So as I think about that, I think, all right, I know my character, I know my morals, I know my qualities that are distinctive to me. And I know my role in this play, my role in this movie, my role in this book. And knowing that I can never increase or rise above the limitations of my character, it is time to get rid of those limitations and unlock my full potential. I challenge you to do the same. Let's go. Good morning and welcome to Rise and Grind Live. Unlock your full potential with the power of daily motivation, education, inspiration with your host, Glenn Lundy, a husband to one, father to 8, global motivational speaker, and the author of The Morning 5.
I'm Heather Parady, former therapist turned online entrepreneur and wannabe comedian.
Celebrity interviews, transformational information, and a massive community around the #1 morning show in the world. It's 5:30 a.m. and it's time to rise and grind. Hey, good morning, good morning, good morning. How are you, my friend? How are you, my friend? Dude, today is Monday. That's right. Today is Monday, December 11th, 2023. And what's crazy is today is the very first and the very last time it'll ever be Monday, December 11th, 2023. So I want to make sure we make the absolute most, and I do mean the absolute most of this absolutely incredible, incredible day. I got to tell you, I got a little scared this morning. Every once in a while, you get a little scared. You want to talk about waking up on a Monday morning? I got a little scared today. So one of the things, and I don't know, maybe this comes from my upbringing. Maybe it doesn't. Maybe it comes from the streets. Maybe it doesn't. Maybe it comes from being homeless or in and out of jail. Maybe it doesn't. Maybe this is just a natural thing. I don't know. But here's what I do know. I do know that when I come to the studio, it is like 4:30 in the morning. And 4:30 in the morning is not necessarily the most welcoming and pleasant time to be out in public. And so whenever I show up to the studio, I always do, a little quick look around. Just making sure I'm safe. Making sure ain't nobody trying to come at a brother. You know what I'm saying? And so this morning, I get to the studio, do a quick look around, boom, 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 I'm good. I pop out the truck. As soon as I pop out the truck, I swear, out of nowhere, there was this woman. And she says, sir, and she's like across the parking lot. But she's like, sir, and she's coming at me. I'm like, oh, damn. And everything goes on high alert, right? Hey, the hairs are up on my arms. It's 4:30. I don't expect to see anybody. And I'm like, giving her the side eye, like, what's up? I don't know. It's 4:30, Don't be trying no mess. And so she's upset, right? She's crying. She said something about her and her roommate went at it, and she's been taking care of her roommate, but her roommate say a bad word now, and her roommate told her she's got to get out, and she's got all her stuff over here, and all she needed is to know if she could come inside the office and charge her phone for a little bit so that she could get an Uber, because she was trying to order an Uber to get home, but her phone had died. And I was like, yo. No. I said, nah, man, you ain't coming up in here. I'm just saying, this is my little safe space. I got my little badge to come into my office. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, I'm like, I got to help this woman, right? You never rise or increase above the limitations of your character. But so I had to think about it, right? Like, okay, I'm like, how do I help her? And at the same time, she ain't coming in. Like, that ain't happening. I done watched too many movies where somebody comes in to use the phone. I'm just saying, I done watched too many of those. Ain't happening. So I said, all right, hold up. Talk me through. You trying to get somewhere, trying to use an Uber. Okay, here's what we're going to do. I'll just order you an Uber. Where you need to go, right? And so she gave me the address, and she needed to be picked up somewhere else. I plugged it all in. Boop, 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 boop. Plugged her in and showed her. I said, hey, here you go. Uber's on the way. Gonna pick you up. That's the little pickup spot. You make sure you're good right there. And I gotta go. I got a show that I gotta do, but I'm monitoring right here on the phone. Make sure you get a ride safely. If for some reason you don't get picked up, I'll come check up later. And sure enough, Uber came, picked her up. I watched the Uber take her home, or wherever she was going. And she is safe. I share this story with you because I'm just telling you, like, it was like immediate, like everything locked in. Like back in the day, everything locked in like my old days. And I was ready. I think I was ready. Now she done she would have pulled out a weapon and went all like zombie on me or something. I don't know if I was ready for all that. But I definitely feel as though I made some good decisions in the name of my wife and my kids. And I couldn't miss the show. I mean, I haven't been here in over a week, right? You guys would have been devastated. So I'm just sharing that experience with you because I am just now coming off of Sabbath week. And I got to tell you, man, it is good to be home, right? It is good to be home. I have 2 more trips here in December, right? I've got 2 more trips here in December, but it's good to be home. So Sabbath week, for those of you that don't know, our company, we shut down every 7 weeks. We turn the company off, and all my employees, everybody gets paid, and it's just time for them to spend with their families. Usually I spend it at home with my family, but I do have extended family, like my friends Danelle Delgado and Liza Borges. So I spent some time with them last week as well. So I was on Sabbath week, which started off with an awesome parade. We had a 800% club float in the parade, which was awesome. Got to spend time with them. Then I got to go to Virginia and spend some time with my CMA family, which is another extension of my family. Hey, Scott Simons, I see you in here this morning. And then, Liza and Danelle. And then we went to Palm Beach. We went to Palm Beach so that we could help our friend Liza get some clarity on what she's trying to do next year. In the process, she absolutely inspired me. For those of you that are on Clubhouse, click the link at the top of the room and you can see this picture. This is Liza Borges, who is, she's the owner of Carter Myers Automotive Group. She's got 23 dealerships. And this is her pedaling 6,000 miles an hour with a boot on her left foot. Y'all see that? Y'all see that boot on her left foot right there? So Liza hurt herself about a week after she ran the Boston Marathon. She hurt her foot, cardiopensinitis or something. I don't know, some kind of thing that hurts like crazy. And so she's been in this boot since October, the end of October, early November. And this girl, you just can't stop her, dude. We did F45 one day. She's in a boot doing F45 kettlebell swings and all kinds of stuff, keeping up with the F45. And then she's like, we got to get another workout in. She's cruising around the beach like 7,000 miles an hour. I mean, just utterly inspiring, man. She even jumped in. I had her jump in. I had a little session with Patrick Abad over at Beaver Toyota. And she jumped in. Her and Danelle both jumped in and poured into those people as well. So it was awesome, man. It was awesome. And then came back, spent some time, obviously not spent some time, invested some time with my wife and my kids. We actually had a little Shark Tank thing where we had the kids pitch us different business ideas. Joel said he was going to create something called Kicks. His biggest competition was dicks, but this was going to be kicks. And Savannah had put together a business consulting business. Tori and Willow put together a little handyman business. That was awesome. Also got to do some one-on-one shopping. Every year I take each one of the kids out to go Christmas shop for all their siblings. So they just know their siblings better than we do, right? And so I got to spend some time with Joel. He brought a buddy with him. So they did some shopping yesterday, which was great. And then if you guys want to see what our Christmas, if you want like early picture of our Christmas card, we got our Christmas photos. This is the Lundy family all rocking the pajamas. If you look at Meredith right there, Meredith's face is just absolutely classic. Everybody else is smiling right here, and Meredith's just got her classic face. We even got the dog in this one. How about that? You guys know how this is, getting the family photos. Imagine, dude, trying to get all these kids to smile at the same time. Y'all be talking about trying to get a good picture with 2 kids or maybe 3 kids or maybe 4 kids or 5, right? But this is 7 of them, 7 kids. We even got the dog. I was super impressed with that. And then here's one with all the family. Look at that. Mom and dad are in there. I don't know what Fisher's doing with his face. Willow's sticking out her tongue. But you know what? This is life, man. This is what it looks like. This is how we're going into the holiday, and this is how we're going into 2024. That's right. 2024 is right in front of us. Y'all realize that, right? Christmas is 2 weeks away. 2024 is right in front of us. And 2024, for me and for those around me, I'm challenging them to a year of excellence. A year of excellence. A year of change. A year filled with wonder and opportunity. You see, I'm looking back at the last year, right? I traveled a lot in the last year. I've been to New York in the last year. I've been to Texas in the last year. I've been to Arizona in the last year. I've been to California in the last year. I've been to Florida in the last year. I've been to North Carolina in the last year. I've been to Tennessee in the last year. I've been to Georgia in the last year. I've been to Indiana in the last year. I've been to Virginia in the last year. I've been to Mississippi in the last year. I've been to Oklahoma in the last year. I've been to Missouri in the last year. I've been to Ohio in the last year. I've been to Michigan in the last year. I've been to Louisiana in the last year. Shoot, I even been to Italy in the last year, bro. I mean, it's been amazing. It's been an amazing year. It's also been a year of revamping this show right here. My friend Heather Parady, who did an amazing job last week and has done an amazing job all year, just bringing another dynamic to Rise and Grind. She's incredible, right? So we've revamped this show. Heather Parady's been a tremendous part of that. We're doing pre-recorded segments now that are funny and different skits and so on and so forth. Just a lot more intentionality behind the show. We've done over 1,300 episodes and counting. We've had all kinds of different guests. We've danced on this show, over and 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 over this year. I think Tony with the Keys is here with us today. Thank you, Tony with the Keys, for the beautiful Rise and Grind song. Speaking of dancing, y'all know. Y'all know, right? Y'all know. If you're new to the show, you might not know. But this is the part of this show where I need you to hit that share button. If you haven't done that already, we need to hit that share button, because I believe if we can change the way people start their day, it'll make a massive impact on their lives. This is also the part of the show where I say good morning to Rodney Hatfield and Russell Hill. I say good morning to Tony Tito Washington, Tony with the Keys, who's here. There's sound, Carrie Lynn Carter. What you talking about? There is sound, girl. Or not Carrie Lynn Carter, Emily Galler. That must be you. That must be you, girl. Marilyn Wilkin, good morning to you. Tony Thorstad, good morning to you. Renee Hayes, good morning. Great to see you. My guy TM. TM, you and I have been playing a little bit of phone tag. Let's fix that this morning. My guy Ramon in the building. Liza, we were just talking about her. She's up in here today. Tom Popelka's in the building. Wendy Reeves, good morning. So say good morning to me. I'll say good morning to you. Share this out. Do some dancing. Right? Do some dancing. Get that body in motion. Don Sankey, good morning. Jeremy Noling, what's up? Tanya and Kimberly and Kat and Tracy and Crystal and Jackie and Tarika. I see Van and AT. I see Renee. I see Aaron. Oh, never done that before. Uh-oh. I can fix this without breaking everything. There we go. Okay, we're set. We're set. Natasha Smith, good morning. Yo, B-Craft. So we've done that, right? We've done tons of dancing over the last year. We've there's just been a lot of laughs. There's been a lot of tears. There's been moments that last forever. I got these kids that are just growing up, right? Growing up and doing all kinds of crazy things. They just keep growing. There's been guests on the show that have been amazing. There has been transformational moments on the show that have been amazing. Moments that will last forever, right? In the last year, I've got memories that we've created that will just last forever. There's, my family and extended family and my business has completely changed shape. There's new partnerships that I'm really excited about going into 2024. There's been collaborations that have been absolutely phenomenal with just incredible humans from all over the United States of America and beyond. We have this new office space. There's been hiring, there's been firing, there's been cooking, there's been cleaning, there's been running and more running and more running and more running. That was a lot of running this year. Golly, man. A lot. Then we got the #1 speaker in America thing that we won. That was pretty cool, right? That was cool. We got a book that's being launched as we speak, which is incredible. We bought a jet, dude. Are you kidding me? Like, as a company, we bought a jet, which is crazy. We've got the planners, Morning 5 planners that are out right now. If you haven't ordered one, you need to go get one, morning5planner.com. That's twice now that's done that to me. It's never done that before. Crazy. Right? But you got Morning 5 planners. We just got those out. Training, lives, podcasts, kids, wife, home, Taco Tuesdays. Like, we've achieved a lot, done a lot, come a long way. And at the same time, we still have so far to go. And if you think about it, thanks, Liza. And if you think about it, like, I almost missed all this, dude. You almost missed all this. Like, one decision the other direction, and none of it happens. Like, God is so good all the time. God is good. So good. And the opportunities that we have in front of us are infinite. So listen, today's show and this week, we're in a new series. We're just going to really reflect, and then I've got some homework for you as well. We're going to go back so that we can move forward. It's kind of how this whole thing works. All right. Before I go a little bit further, I do want to let you know, for those of you that are in automotive, Danelle and Danelle, my buddy Mike Draper, and my buddy Evan Walters, we're having a virtual event called Carmageddon. It's going to be the 3 critical elements to escape, right? Avoiding your dealership's economic disaster in 2024. I know these are all dramatic words, but there's a lot going on in automotive. And so we are holding an event that is going to help specifically people in automotive get more attention in 2024, get better results, grow their people, all those things. And so if you want to be a part of that, just shoot me a message, DM me the word CAR, C-A-R, just DM me CAR, or you can text me CAR and I'll shoot you the link, but I want you to be a part of that. It's going to be super cool. It's on my birthday, December 20th at 1:08 p.m. Cool? All right, I got some homework for you. Stay tuned.
I dropped out of Reed College after the first 6 months, but then stayed around as a drop-in for another 18 months or so before I really quit. So why'd I drop out? It started before I was born. My biological mother was a young, unwed graduate student, and she decided to put me up for adoption. She felt very strongly that I should be adopted by college graduates, so everything was all set for me to be adopted at birth by a lawyer and his wife. Except that when I popped out, they decided at the last minute that they really wanted a girl. So my parents, who were on a waiting list, got a call in the middle of the night asking, "We've got an unexpected baby boy. Do you want him?" They said, "Of course." My biological mother found out later that my mother had never graduated from college and that my father had never graduated from high school. She refused to sign the final adoption papers. She only relented a few months later when my parents promised that I would go to college. And 17 years later, I did go to college. But I naively chose a college that was almost as expensive as Stanford. And all of my working class parents' savings were being spent on my college tuition. After 6 months, I couldn't see the value in it. I had no idea what I wanted to do with my life, and no idea how college was going to help me figure it out. And here I was, spending all of the money my parents had saved their entire life. So I decided to drop out and trust that it would all work out okay. It was pretty scary at the time, but looking back, it was one of the best decisions I ever made. The minute I dropped out, I could stop taking the required classes that didn't interest me and begin dropping in on the ones that looked far more interesting. It wasn't all romantic. I didn't have a dorm room, so I slept on the floor in friends' rooms. I returned Coke bottles for the 5-cent deposits to buy food with. And I would walk the 7 miles across town every Sunday night to get one good meal a week at the Hare Krishna temple. I loved it. And much of what I stumbled into by following my curiosity and intuition turned out to be priceless later on. Let me give you one example. Reed College at that time offered perhaps the best calligraphy instruction in the country. Throughout the campus, every poster, every label on every drawer was beautifully hand calligraphed. Because I had dropped out and didn't have to take the normal classes, I decided to take a calligraphy class to learn how to do this. I learned about serif and sans serif typefaces, about varying the amount of space between different letter combinations, about what makes great typography great. It was beautiful, historical, artistically subtle in a way that science can't capture, and I found it fascinating. None of this had even a hope of any practical application in my life. But 10 years later, when we were designing the first Macintosh computer, it all came back to me. And we designed it all into the Mac. It was the first computer with beautiful typography. If I had never dropped in on that single course in college, the Mac would have never had multiple typefaces or proportionally spaced fonts. If I had never dropped out, I would have never dropped in on that calligraphy class, and personal computers might not have the wonderful typography that they do. Of course, it was impossible to connect the dots looking forward when I was in college, but it was very, very clear looking backwards 10 years later. Again, you can't connect the dots looking forward. You can only connect them looking backwards. So you have to trust that the dots will somehow connect in your future. You have to trust in something, your gut, destiny, life, karma, whatever. Because believing that the dots will connect down the road will give you the confidence to follow your heart even when it leads you off the well-worn path, and that will make all the difference.
You can't connect the dots looking forward. We can only connect the dots looking back. And that is going to be your homework as we go into this week. I'm going to give you some homework. Yes, I know you thought you got out of homework when you got out of school, but I got some homework for you because I want to make sure that you're ready for 2024. I want to make sure that you're ready for 2024. And so in order for us to make sure we can make some big moves moving forward, we got to look back. Now, listen, I cannot hold you accountable to your homework, and I'm not going to hold you accountable to your homework. You are going to have to hold yourself accountable to do the work. But I assure you that if you do the work, it will add fuel. That's the best way to describe it. I'm sure you're already excited about next year. I'm sure you're excited about the changes you're going to make in your life. I'm positive of that. This is simply going to add some fuel, some rocket fuel. Is that cool? All right, check it out. You got a couple pieces of homework. First piece of homework is I want you to write down, by the way, which is what this is like a pen. This is a paper. I know it looks digital, but it really is. But you got to write, don't type. I want you to write down 100 things that you did in 2023. 100 things that you did in 2023. All right. Now, when you're writing these things down, like it could be anything. Maybe you had a garage sale in 2023. Maybe you moved into a new house. Maybe you got a new boyfriend or a girlfriend. Maybe you went, somewhere with the grandkids, whatever it is. All right. Maybe you started a new school, a new job, new career. I want you to write down 100 things that you did in 2023. Now, we're going to discuss this more in depth tomorrow. Okay. You're going to have homework all week, just so you know. I want you to write down 100 things that you did in 2023. Now, here's the second part of your homework. I need you to write down 12 people that made a positive impact in your life in 2023. 12 people that made a positive impact in your life in 2023. Could be a family member, could be somebody you're doing business with, could be a coworker, could be somebody here in Rise and Grind, Breakfast with Champions. 12 people that made a positive impact in your life in 2023. That's the second part of your homework. The third part of your homework. All right, I believe I'm going slow enough. The third part of your homework is I want you to write down 4 exciting and memorable moments that were outside of your city. So basically 4 places that you went that were exciting and memorable in 2023. All right. 4 places that you went that were exciting and memorable in 2023. That's the third piece of your homework. Now, here's the fourth piece of your homework. All right. There's 8 pillars in life. All right. I believe. And your homework is to write down the one thing that you learned in each pillar. Okay, you ready? So here's the pillars. One thing you learned in 2023 about your faith, whatever that faith is in. One thing that you learned in 2023 about your faith. Then I want you to write one thing. I'll just keep holding the number 1 here. I want you to write one thing that you learned about your health, fitness, whatever word you want to use. Then I want you to write one thing that you learned about your family. Then I want you to write down one thing that you learned about your friends. Not like some gossip that you learned about them, but one thing that you learned about your relationship with your friends. I want you to write down one thing that you learned about money, finances in 2023. Then I want you to write down one thing that you learned in your career in 2023. Or about your career. Then I want you to write down one thing that you learned about yourself in 2023. And lastly, you're just going to write down the biggest lesson you learned in 2023. All right. So one thing about your faith, one thing about your fitness, one thing about your family, one thing about your friends, one thing about your finances, one thing about your career, one thing, the biggest lesson that you learned, and one thing about yourself. All right. Those are the 8: faith, fitness, family, friends, finances, career, self, and education is how I label that last one. Okay. So here's your homework. Write down 100 things you did in 2023. Then you're going to write down 12 people that made a positive impact in your life in 2023. then 4 places that you went that were exciting and memorable in 2023, and then that list of 8, one thing that you learned in each of those columns. Now, if you want, you can email in your homework. If you want, you can email your homework. Just email it to glenn@glennlundy.com. You're welcome to do that. If you want to share it, all right, glenn@glennlundy.com. You're welcome to shoot me an email if you want to share your homework. But I'm not holding you accountable to your homework. This is you. Either way, do the work, spend some time reflecting, all right? This is a process that we're going to go through this week that's going to help set the stage for you in 2024 and beyond. Is that fair? All right, cool. Check it out. My brother, my sister, thanks for being here with me this morning. I love you. I do. If nobody's told you yet today, let me be the first. I absolutely stinking love you. And more importantly, is I believe in you. I really do. I believe in you. As a child of God, the God of the universe, the God that made everything, you have in you the ability to make one decision that ultimately can change the game, one decision that changes everything. You're just one decision away. And the great news is that you, like me, you and I have opportunity galore ahead of us. Opportunity galore ahead of us. And how far we've come to this point is absolutely nothing in comparison to how far we can go. Fair? Fair. All right, let's get out of here. What is this?
I've never seen to find what I'm looking for. Here we go again,
Oh, these are from earlier. All right, let's get out of here. Hey, I'm going to go hang out on Clubhouse for just a little bit. And then I'll see you guys tomorrow, 5:30 a.m. We're going to do this all over again. Hashtag Rise and Grind. Have a great day. Peace.
First thing on my mind, early in the morning time. Daily motivation, feeling so divine. Waking up the nation. Hashtag Rise and Grind. Hashtag Rise and Grind. Grind, 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 grind. Hashtag Rise and Grind. First thing on my mind, early in the morning time. Daily motivation, feeling so divine. Waking up the nation. Hashtag Rise and Grind. Hashtag Rise and Grind. Don't stop, get it, get it. Hashtag Rise and Grind. Don't stop, get it, get it. Waking up the nation. Hashtag Rise and Grind. Waking up the nation. Hashtag Rise and Grind. Good morning. On my feet before the sunrise. Stepped into my greatness, feeling powerful and energized. Thankful to be alive. Hashtag blessed. Write my mission, vision, values, and my gratitude list. I'm building up momentum. I'm making good decisions. I rise, I grind, I get it. Ain't no doubt that I'm committed. Cause who really loses if I don't win? Can't cheat the grind, only get what you put in. So I'm mastering my mentals. I'm focused on my physical. I'm developing spiritually and manifesting miracles. I'm gonna get it started, have a party in the morning. And I'ma wake the world, is so alarming. I hashtag Rise and Grind. Hashtag Rise and Grind. First thing on my mind, early in the morning time. Daily motivation, feeling so divine. Waking up the nation. Hashtag Rise and Grind. Hashtag Rise and Grind. Grind, 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 grind. Good morning. Don't stop. Good morning. Get it, get it. Good morning. Don't stop. Get it, get it, get it. Good morning. Don't stop. Good morning. Get it, get it. Good morning. Don't stop. Get it, get it. Hashtag Rise and Grind. Let's go, let's get it. Let's go, let's go, let's get it. Hashtag Rise and Grind. Let's go, let's get it. Hashtag Rise and Grind. Let's go, let's get it. Hashtag Rise and Grind. I know you with it. Hashtag Rise and Grind. Let's go, let's get it. Hashtag Rise and Grind. Let's go, let's get it. Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up, everybody in the land. Make them all get up and turn the volume up and dance.